Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the Wyoming Way. Thanks for joining Elroy and I today. We're gonna ride through these cows and see how pasture conditions are looking, see how the cows are doing, make sure they've got salt and water. So let's get right into it. Well, I tell you what, I sure am glad to be back in Wyoming. I just spent a couple weeks out in the Bay Area, California and Nevada, and had a great time. It's always fun to get out there and see some fresh country. But man, am I glad to be back with my horse, up here with the cows, up on the hill. This is my happy place. Now, there's something like 7 million people living in the Bay Area, and I think I might have seen every single one of them on the northbound 101 freeway when I was out there last week. Good grief, there's a lot of people out there. A little different than what I'm used to living out here in Wyoming. I mean, there's only 500,000 or 600,000 people living in this entire state. We've got more cows here than people. It was all right. I really did enjoy it. I mean, I like people. I don't really want that information to get out everywhere, but just between you and me, I do kind of like people. But spending a couple weeks like that really made me appreciate where I live and what I get to do for a living, and my slow, simple life with cows and up in the hills and with my horses. Man, you can't beat it as far as I'm concerned. I just got back yesterday, and so I'm real curious to just see how everything looks up here. And mostly I'm up here just to say hi to my cows. My dad's been feeding these cows a little bit of supplemental cake every day. And if you're wondering what cake is, it's a compressed pellet that's made up of hay and corn and soybeans, and it's high in energy and high in protein, and it really does wonder for cattle that are in fall and winter grazing conditions like this, because there's not a whole lot of energy and protein left in this old dried up grass, but there's plenty of grass left to satisfy their dry matter requirements. But then if you can just supplement with some extra protein and energy, you can keep them going on this grass without having to bust into the hay yard and start feeding a lot of valuable hay. Looks like they've been watering out of this little kind of pothole here. One little pothole they're drinking out of. They're not all watering here because there's not enough water for all of them, but it's nice that these water sources have been staying kind of open like this. So if you've been following along with the channel much, you know that this winter has been extraordinary for us. I don't recall ever having gone this far into the winter without having to move the cows down onto the winter feed ground. And they are just still up here in the fall pasture, which is really remarkable. The conditions have just been so nice and mild and warm, and we've had very little snow. Usually this time of year, it's very, very cold, and there can be anywhere upwards of a foot to a foot and a half of snow on the ground. But this is just an incredible winter, and I'm certainly not complaining, because this is ideal. These are ideal conditions for a cow man to winter in, especially in northern Wyoming. In fact, if I were to sit down and calculate the amount of hay that I've saved so far this winter, well, I'll just do that quick. So I feed 5 large round bales a day all winter long when I'm feeding cows. And the replacement value of those bales right now is about $150 a bale. So that's $750 in hay every day, just $5,250 a week in hay. And they've been up here for 6 weeks. So I've saved somewhere in the neighborhood of $31,500 in hay having these cows up here this long. And there's still pretty good pickings around here for grass. So we should be able to get another couple weeks out of this pasture. Just keep feeding them a little bit of cake every day. We usually feed them about 2 pounds of cake per head. And cake is fairly expensive too. It's about $375 a ton, somewhere in there. So at 2 pounds per head per day, $375 per ton. What is that a pound? Something about looking into a camera that makes my already poor math skills just totally abysmal. But that only amounts to 40 or 50 cents a head per day to get some nice boost in energy and protein for these cows. And that's really all they need. I'm just gonna step off my horse real quick and show you what the grass conditions are looking like up here. You see up in here, there's still a lot of grass, especially around all the sagebrush. Elroy, show the viewers how these cows are getting a bite up here. See that? Just got to root through the snow a little bit. There's plenty of fixins up here if you're industrious and know where to look. Isn't that right, Elroy? But anyway, you can see there's still a lot of grass, a lot of old 2023 season grass up here yet. Cows will be able to utilize all this. And so we'll just continue to supplement them with some little extra protein and energy, and we'll continue to monitor the conditions, and they should be able to thrive up here for quite a little longer, assuming the weather stays nice. Yeah, the cows look really good, guys. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They're in very, very good condition. A couple of salt blocks here, one right there, one over here. So that looks good. Ooh, a scary pipe sticking out of the road. Scary monster pipe. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Pipes, the bane of Elroy's existence. And as always, the spring is looking good. Oh, Elroy's a little thirsty. You're such a good boy. You're a good boy. Well, that was sure a nice ride. Boy, I can't tell you how good it feels to get back horseback and lay eyes on some good cows, especially after being in the big city for 2 weeks. Anyway, thank you all so much for checking out the Wyoming Way. We'll catch you on the next one.